Hi, guys, and welcome. Thank you for joining me on another session where we are going to be having a little one on one. And today, I wanted to share with you about having a bottle cap. And we talk about bottlenecks when we talk about traffic or congestion. But today, we are going to be talking about having a bottle cap. Do you need a bottle cap? Think about it. Just 1 second. Just think about it. Do you need a bottle cap? So sometimes when tempers flare, it's really hard to understand why it's happening, and the difficulty is really more evident in adults than in children. And when I say children, I'm not just talking about the 4, 5, 6 year olds. I'm talking about like 10, 11, 12, even teenagers. And on more occasions, children remember exactly why they are angry, and but not necessarily with whom they're angry. Adults, on the other hand, they are all over the place, and can never really remember the real reason why. And many times, this is because we have so many things that make us angry. We throw them all out there, whenever we can. So you really have to think about it and say, you know what, let's get that bottle cap. Here's how we use the bottle cap. I'm going to explain a little bit to you how we use and how we need that bottle cap. When we have just a little of that angry emotion, um, let's put it in a bottle and shake it a bit, to diffuse it. All right. And that sounds crazy, right? I know. But take, for example, a full bottle of soda, completely carbonated. And when it is shaken in a bottle, that's a full bottle, when it's shaken, it has a large and loud, really loud eruption and an explosion. And when that eruption is out and over, the soda is flat. It's completely flat. The same thing happens with a little soda, but there's a slight difference in that it does not erupt outside. Okay, just that little bit of soda, for you go from 16 ounces just to around 3 ounces or something, or 4 ounces. It still goes flat though. All right, so many small things cause our emotions to be eruptive and as well as disruptive, because you know how anger can be. Okay, but when we take those small things and deal with them in a controlled manner, they go flat. If there's a situation that is making you angry, put it under a bottle cap. So how do we get this bottle cap that I'm talking about? Well, first, you need to know what a bottle cap is. It is really a control mechanism. So a bottle cap can help you to create a controlled area. Control mechanisms can be prayers, it can be a group of people, it can be your mind, it can also be time, it can even be writing. It's a process or a technique that helps you to see that particular situation or situations. Prayers always work for me. I'm not just talking about Lord come for your world kind of prayer. I'm talking about prayers that you are in constant communication with the Lord, because you know who you are. You know that you're a child of God, and you know sometimes you're also human, and sometimes you can be a little, not what you want to be or where you want to be. And it's not being holier than thou either. Okay? And yes, it's not being holier than thou. If you don't know, then the Lord can really help you in that area too. And God answers um, and communicates with us in so many ways, as we hear all the time. However, about when we think about when you're talking to God about an explosive situation and you resort to the alternative as opposed to the explosion without thinking about it, because you have been in constant prayer with God. If you think about it just a little bit, you would realize that there was God's intervention in that situation because you're always talking to him and you're always in communication with him. So that's one control mechanism that we can think about. Here is another one. People can be a control mechanism. Others can give you their opinion, but it doesn't always have to be helpful. It can also just help you to learn because you may have another circumstance that you can apply it to. So make sure you know who and what you're dealing with. You may not always do this. You may not always go to people. We are all humans and we tend to forget what we need to do and how we need to do it. So remind yourself every now and then. As a matter of fact, remind yourself often of what needs to be done, And honestly, I'm not going to give examples of this one because, people might say, well, you can go to this person or can go to that person. I'm not going to give you examples of that because you are going to understand that for yourself. And because you're going to be in constant prayer, developing your own bottle caps. All right. The other control mechanism that you might want to consider is your mind. Your mind can be helpful, very, very helpful when you want to be explosive. It's simple. Think about something else. And when your mind is focused on one thing, that's it. That's it. Sometimes we need to allow ourselves to be distracted. But remember to just take some time out to resolve that issue that that you were so focused on before, but then you cause yourself to be distracted because then you will need to go back to it, because if not, it will make you angry all over again at a later date. So you need to go back to it, but just taking your mind off of it and focusing on something else so that you can then go back to the situation. For me, writing helps with everything. And for me, writing combines all of the mechanisms into one. I think about it. I write the prayer down, which takes time. And it also gives me a whole group of people to write to, if I decide to share it. And this brings me to the final mechanism of time. With time, we have an opportunity to assess what the emotion is all about. We are able to see where it is coming from while we're calming down. Many times we need a little bottle cap and it's because we had a lot of small things. I mean, a number of little issues that would cause us to blow. And a lot of those small things were infused with each other over time. Okay, and this is when it is used incorrectly. So we use time to let anger fester. When you add time at the right moment, you have the opportunity to de-fizz the fuzz. Because when you're not thinking clearly, things can get a little fuzzy. So you need to de-fizz the fuzz every now and then. So take some time to know why you're angry. And you will see in just a few seconds. Seriously, it really just takes a few seconds when you think about it. Okay? And you'd realize that most of the times your focus was off. So today, I want you to get your bottle cap. All right? Before you start, to shake your bottle and only put in a little at a time. And shake it. Diffuse it. It will go flat soon. So you're going to get those different things that you will need to either add time to, or you can pray to God for, or that you might just need to get some people to help you with, or you need to give some time to. Okay? So thank you for joining me today, and thank you for sharing with me about, just getting that bottle cap. And remember, guys, we have been through so much. I just want to share my book with you. It's called My Heart, The Story of Broken and Healed. It's available on Amazon.com. And please like my page. It's right down there. There you go. It's right there, right there, right there. And It's CareenCarlton.com. It's my website. The page on Facebook is cc.CareenCarlton. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.